I have a secret. You've been meal planning wrong. Okay, maybe you have not been meal planning wrong. If what you're doing is working for you, great. But if not, stick around for today's video and be sure to hit subscribe if you're new. I have been astounded, shocked, appalled, apoplectic, catatonic every time we get our grocery bill. The cashier is like, can't miss your day, everything is pleasant. Yes, we found everything we needed and then some. Ring, 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 and then you look up at the screen and it is way too much money. And we decided we had to do something different. It worked. So I was watching Madeline Olivia. She has done a few shopping with her and I find those always entertaining, but especially from her because she is vegan. So I always want to see what vegetables she's buying and what she's going to cook with them so I can add more veg into my diet too. And one of the things that I noticed was, well, two things. One, it must be cheaper to live in Cornwall because it's astounding how little money she spends every time. But two, that she does have a system that I think is actually helping her no matter what the food prices are where you live. One of the things that she did is she made a list for breakfast, lunches, dinners, and I think even snacks. And then she wrote down, she has an ongoing memo on her phone of just like plug and play. This is what I'm going to have for breakfast, this is what I'm going to have for lunch, and this is what we're going to have for dinner. She said she only does, I can't remember how many days. It was not for the whole week because she knows sometimes they'll have leftovers or just want to do takeout or just change their minds. But basically, she makes a list of everything that she wants to eat and how that's all going to fit together within the week. If this is working for a food blogger who's going to be making specific recipes, I thought, okay, how can she do this so affordably? Well, she's going to eat what she makes. They're okay with the leftovers, but also she thinks ahead about, I know I can throw this ingredient into another meal. Now, that might not sound new to you, but here's why I'm saying that maybe you're doing meal planning wrong. Maybe you have made all the lists. Tried the once a week method where you plan for a week and you shop for that week. Maybe you've even done where you go twice a week. You buy what you need, you use it, go back on Wednesday, use it, ready to go shop again on the weekend, etc., etc. Or maybe the most popular, the 2-week meal plan and beyond. I decided I too would make a little memo on my phone of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But instead of plugging in what I might want to eat this week, I just put in general, what are kind of my staples? Whatever you have a lot. Protein smoothie. Same for lunch. I just put, this is what I normally have that I like, or it's because it's something we're already always going to have. We're always going to have beans and tortillas and cheese. That's just a constant in this house, so I put quesadillas as an option. We came to dinners last. This is a reverse of what I've seen. A lot of people who have done, let me do dinners first and go from there. It's because we want to make all these recipes, try all these things, we buy all the ingredients for that, and go to the store like, well, I've got my meal plan, and then, oh my goodness, what about lunch? What about breakfast? But for us, we know we have these staples, but we'd get all, what am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to bring? And then maybe buy, again, extra things that we might not even eat that week. I can't tell you how many times we've bought lunch meat for sandwiches that have gone bad because we just bought something thinking this is what I should have for lunch. So you should have a pretty cheap list before you get to your dinner. And then, let me show you my categories. I made categories that we can rotate through. So we've got, well, you can read it, but, you know, we've got crock pot night, red meat night, which is pretty much just the weekends, fish, the salmon, breakfast for dinner, a try it, something new. So that's when you pull out your recipe book or Pinterest and be like, I've been dying to make this thing. Start with that if that's going to be in your rotation. This is planning for 1 week at a time, but you see I have like 12 categories, so we can rotate. So we can know that some weeks might cost more, but we're going to be able to kind of balance that out. And then next week, we would also make sure that that's not in our rotation. We would do something different. So we also pretty much only every other week will have a salmon night because that is very expensive. We get high quality fish from Egg Harbor is what it's called. For example, if this week we were going to do our try something new, make a recipe out of a cookbook, we're going to be buying ingredients we don't typically do, we'd write that one down first and what we would need to buy for it. Then we would see what else can we make with these ingredients that we don't typically get, so they don't go to waste, obviously. And then from there, we'd pick cheaper meals. What are the cheaper categories that we could do here? Because it's probably going to be more expensive to try a new recipe. It just almost always is. So this way, you can move things around and have a little bit more fun. Your grocery list. And then we stick to that list. Ugh, it's the worst. You get in the store and you're like, this is on sale. That looks yummy, blah, blah, blah. Distractions everywhere. You gotta stick with your game plan. We have noticed an average of like a $70 difference in how much we spent when adhering to meal planning and shopping in this way. And then my final tip, because I've noticed this is something we have done before. When we wanted to try a specific dish, something especially that might have been from another country that was very different than the flavors we normally have around our home, and we find ourselves buying these spices and like coconut milk or curry or what, if you don't typically make that, you might be buying a few different spices and things they don't already have, and it adds up, and then you still go and buy all of your regulars just because that's your habit. But if you're planning on making some Thai meals this week, don't also go and buy all the other usual things. Ask yourself what you're really going to need if you're going to have a couple of Thai flavory nights. Then that's 2 days that you're not going to need the usuals. So watch out and don't just buy stuff for a recipe and then buy your normal list. Narrow it down. I hope that this is helpful. If you would like a detailed making a plan and shopping and like grocery haul and then what we make out of it, I'd be happy to make a video that shows like beginning to end results and what the final total cost was as well and what we got out of that. Just let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to do it. I will see you very soon. Bye.